Hi, for today's class, we're working with section 14.2, number B, number 6, which can be found on page 842. The question states, find the area of each of the following figures if the distance between two adjacent dots in a row or a column is 1 unit for parts A and B. So over here, I drew it on dot paper for us, and we're going to start with part A. So we're going to make a big area so that it's easier to work with all these little shapes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this square is 4 by 4. So we know that the area of the big equals 4 times 4, which equals 16. And now we are going to subtract out what we don't want. So then we know that this is going to be a square and another square and a triangle, 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 triangle. So we're going to subtract. So we'll do 16 and subtract this little square first, which is just base times height, and then subtract this little square, which is also base times height, and then this triangle, which is 1/2 base times height, 2 times 1. And then we'll go down to this little triangle, which will then be another 1/2 base, which is the 1, and the height, which is going to be 1, 2, 3. Even though the height's outside, that's still the height of the triangle. And then minus one more section, which is this triangle over here, which the base is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the height is 2. So 1/2, 4 times 2. So then we get 16 minus 1 minus 1 minus, that cancels out, 1/2 times 2. 1 minus 0.5 times 3 times 1, which is going to be 1.5 minus this 2 and 2 cancel out, and we're left with 4. So then we're going to get 16 minus 1, 15, 14, 13. Let's do this 4 first, and then we get down to 9 minus 1.5, which will then be 7.5. So that, and we know that each one is 1, so then that'll be 7.5 units for that one. And now for part B, we're going to break it into what we know. So instead of making a big square and subtracting it, we're going to do this triangle by a square, by another triangle, by a square, and then a parallelogram, and add up all the little areas. So this first triangle is going to be 1/2 base times height. 1/2 base is 1, height is 2, plus this square, 1 times 1, plus now this triangle, 1/2 base, which is 1, height, which is 1, plus another square, 1 by 1, and then plus one more section and a parallelogram. We know the area of a parallelogram is also base times height, which is going to be 1 times 1 as well. And then we're going to add all those up. So we get 1/2 times 1 times 2. The half and the 2 cancel out, so we get 1 plus 1 plus 0.5 times 1, which is just 0.5 plus 1, and then now we're at the last plus 1, so let's just double check our work. So we're adding up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so now 1 plus 1 plus 0.5, we're at 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and that is units as well, and that is how we find the area of that shape.